welcome. You're watching Exclusive. I'm Padmaja Joshi in counting down to the big election season. Just before the next round of meeting is to take place of the India Alliance in Mumbai, we are going to get you the definitive poll survey right here on Times Now beginning 8 p.m. And that's what brings us here to Thiruvananthapuram. But another big story that we are tracking right now on the Exclusive is what happened in London on India's Independence Day. Not many would have thought that decades after India attained independence from the British Prime Minister would be chanting Jai Shri Ram, and that too in the heart of London. This happened when British Prime Minister and self-proclaimed true Hindu Rishi Sunak was attending a Katha by Morari Bapu at the Cambridge in London, and there, while talking about how his decision-making is informed by his Hindu faith, how he keeps an idol of Lord Ganesha on his table, he started his entire address by chanting Jai Shri Ram.
Bapu, Jai Shri Ram. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to be here today at Morari Bapu's Ram Katha at the University of Cambridge on Indian Independence Day. Bapu, I'm here today not as Prime Minister, but as a Hindu. Now, I am proud to be British, proud to be Hindu. I leave here today remembering the Ramayana which Bapu speaks on, but also the Bhagavad Gita and the Hanuman Chalisa. And for me, Lord Rama will always be an inspirational figure to face life's challenges with courage, to govern with humility, and to work selflessly.
You can imagine what a reaction that got here in India, because in India, imagine, even after all of these years, we're still debating about whether Jai Shri Ram is a war cry. This debate has become even more acute in recent times when there were certain processions passing through so-called Muslim localities where people said that the violence started when provocative slogans like Jai Shri Ram were raised. In fact, in West Bengal, some people were even booked for raising cries of Jai Shri Ram. So much so that some intellectuals had even penned a letter saying that Jai Shri Ram has now become a virtual war cry. So how is it that something that is still considered so sacred by the Hindu Prime Minister of the UK has turned into a war cry in India?
As a practicing Hindu and an Indian, I have a view that Lord Ram is best known as Siya Ram. That's how I heard him while I was growing up. So you can have an angry slogan around him, but the reality is that Lord Ram is the epitome of virtues, and he's always known with the name of Sita. So I don't think I want to answer particularly what the Prime Minister is saying.
अब देखिए जय सिया राम तो निश्चित रूप से वैश्विक आधार मंत्र है इस मानव संस्कृति को सही दिशा दिखाने का, और ब्रिटेन के प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इस बात को स्वीकार किया है कि वो हिंदू धर्म का पालन करते हुए बहुत सौभाग्यशाली हैं। निश्चित रूप से ये हम सब हिंदुओं के लिए भी बहुत प्राइड की बात है, बहुत अभिमान की बात है। और वैसे भी देखिए हिंदू धर्म का तो मूल यही है कि जब हम पूजा करते हैं, अर्चना करते हैं, तो हम विश्व कल्याण की बात करते हैं, हम तो वसुदेव कुटुंबकम की बात करते हैं।
All right, joining us now on the Exclusive, we have Pandit Satish K Sharma, Dharmic scholar and former General Secretary of the National Council of Hindu Temples in the UK, Tushar Gupta, Senior Editor at Swarajya, Vivek Bansal, Senior Leader of the Congress. And my first question is to Senior Journalist Shikha Mukerjee. Who would have thought that something that is still being revered, Shikha Mukerjee, in the UK as a, something that comes from his roots by Rishi Sunak, is being branded a war cry in India? Isn't it a reality check for us?
I don't see why it is a reality check for us. Rishi Sunak said this in Cambridge and not in London, because Cambridge is not in London. Let me be very clear. I was appalled to hear it. And then he said that he was not there as a Prime Minister. In any case, he's in campaign mode.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I haven't been to Cambridge, so I have made that mistake. Apologies.
Oh, sorry if that was for you, but however, Rishi Sunak is in campaign mode. The elections are not too far away. He needs every vote that he can get, and if this is his way of being sly about how he is going to get the Hindu vote in the UK, that's his politics. Coming to the fact that in India, Jai Shri Ram is a war cry.
So you think this is not his belief? This is only politics?
I don't know what he says. He's there as a Hindu. How do I know what a person's beliefs are? A personal belief. Do you know my personal beliefs? You don't. One takes it as face value.
Let me take this across to
Rishi Sunak says that he is a practicing Hindu. And
Pandit Satish Sharma, you think this is only his politics? Apparently from India, now even in the UK, the fight for Hindu vote, people are readily saying Jai Shri Ram or Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram to everybody, yourself and the audience. I don't think it's politics at all. And in fact, anybody who has even a passing familiarity with the majority of the English population who will ultimately choose the next Prime Minister would recognize that a Hindu politician standing up and saying something like Jai Shri Ram is not going to curry favor. So it's a nonsense to even think that this is a political move. In fact, the costs of it could be quite significant. One thing I do think which is worthy of note, though, is that in Bharat we still seem to have some sort of a layer of people who are willing to adopt any divide and rule element just to find offense with something so they can peddle some sort of scandal or some sort of outrage. It just gives you an indication, it certainly gives me an indication of how far we have yet to go to decolonize our intelligentsia, especially those who speak English as a second language but speak it with that peculiar accent that they have.
Professor Mukerjee, it shows how decolonized we still aren't and how deracinated we have become, where a simple chant is seen as political. Respond to Pandit Sharma. Professor Mukerjee? Shikha Mukerjee, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm not Professor Mukerjee, by the way. I'm a journalist.
All right. Sorry about that again. Twice in a row. Maybe I'll get third time lucky. Go on, Shikha Mukerjee.
Yeah, okay. What was the question? I didn't realize that you were addressing it to me, so I wasn't listening very carefully. Tell me.
Yeah, my question, or rather what Pandit Sharma was saying is that it's an indication of how we still need to be decolonized if just because a man is saying Jai Shri Ram, we see politics in it and not an expression of his faith.
No, I think the boot is on the other foot. The man was saying that he was there in a private capacity as a Hindu, and he was not there as a prime minister. And therefore, why are you and I, or anybody else for that matter, concerned about how he addressed that gathering? I don't know what he does in his private life. And to get back to the Indian context, yes, Jai Shri Ram is a war cry. Not Jai Siya Ram, but Jai Shri Ram is certainly a war cry. And you look at the way in which these provocative slogans have been used to create disturbances across the country. Here is Haryana, no, for that matter. There you are. That is where that is where this chanting, loud, aggressive, weaponized chanting of the gods' names has become a kind of trigger point for trouble. I think that is the concern that we still need to worry about.
Two things.
Whether this is decolonization, deracinization, whether we are still a colonized mind, whether people like us are still, we still have a colonized mindset. These are not the issues at all. What is important is that the weaponization of slogans.
Rishi Sunak said it in his capacity as a Hindu, not Prime Minister. So why is everyone so exultant? Second, this is a comparison of the militant Jai Shri Ram versus the more genteel Jai Siya Ram that Rishi Sunak said.
You know, Padmaja, for a party that uses religion either as a tool for appeasement or as a tool during the elections when their leader is indulging in temple run, I can understand when they say that this is just a political gimmick and not a statement of personal belief. It's perfectly understandable because the Congress has always perceived religion as somewhat of a political tool, not a matter of personal belief, and it's highly disappointing. Number two, when the UPA era was on and the case was in the Supreme Court about the Ram Setu, I remember a remark was made that we do not know if Lord Ram is even real or not. Today they sit here and say that Jai Shri Ram is aggressive while Jai Shri Ram is more acceptable as a religious chant. My problem is that you are no one to give a validation on what is aggressive, what is not. The panelist before me, who claims to be a journalist, says that such kind of aggressive chants led to what happened in Haryana. Does she not know that there were women and children and old people, elderlies, willing to go and offer prayers in the temple when stones were pelted on them, when people took positions in the hills and shot upon them with automatic rifles? Now, was that an outcome of a war cry or the chanting of Jai Shri Ram? Absolutely not. You know, Padmaja, what Rishi Sunak has done by practicing his faith in personal
let's not
capacity,
get sidetracked into because irrespective of whether you chant Jai Shri Ram or Jai Shri Ram, that doesn't give the license to anyone to pelt stones at you or to open fire at you. But substantively, what do you make of the point where it is said that let's not look at this as vindication because he is not, giving any certificate of approval to Jai Shri Ram or otherwise. He's just speaking as a Hindu. What's the celebration about, Tushar Gupta?
No, then why does the Congress have a problem when the BJP leaders in their private capacity practice their faith unapologetically? Why did the Congress for almost a decade question the then Chief Minister of Gujarat when he was unapologetic about his religion? Why for almost 7 years now has the Congress questioned the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh who is unapologetic about his religious practices? Rishi Sunak, in his private capacity, by practicing his Hindu belief unapologetically and in a celebratory manner, has sent out, perhaps unknowingly, a message to all Indian politicians, Padmaja, who think that it is important to demonize Hinduism and the Hindu sentiments just in order to come across as secular. That is what the Congress has been teaching us for almost 7 decades now.
Okay.
That if you want to come across as secular, you need to demonize Jai Shri Ram.
A lesson on secularism, says Tushar Gupta. Mr. Bansal.
Their West Bengal Congress leader.
No. What's the question? Would you please repeat it? Would you please repeat the question? What you want to me to answer basically?
The question to you is that this is a lesson in secularism from Rishi Sunak to all those people who keep saying, oh, why is Yogi wearing a saffron robe? You know, why is so-and-so saying that I continue to go to a temple, that I am a proud Hindu? It's okay. It's okay to have your personal faith and still be secular.
But Padmaja, I don't think that Rishi Sunak has to teach us a lesson on Hinduism. We are very proud to be Hindu, and that is basically our strength. And Hinduism has been known for being tolerant. Let me tell you that. And over a period of time since ancient history, Hindu Adhyatmavad had engulfed the world, and it has influenced the world. And that yoga, when we talk about International Yoga Day and all, yoga had from time immemorial, it had impressed and influenced the world. So to say that everybody is proud to be a Hindu, but a Hindu, what is the definition of a Hindu? Hindu is basically a way of life, and it is basically, from in ancient history also, Hinduism has been a very tolerant religion. It had absorbed all, these Hunas, these Scythians, whosoever entered into this country, except for Islam and Christianity. Hinduism has been known to absorb these Buddhism, these Jainism, which had absorbed Hinduism. So Hinduism has been known for tolerance, not the aggressive. Definitely, I agree with our esteemed journalist, Shikha Mukerjee, when she was saying that definitely to provoke the minorities who tend to, it turns into a reverential terminology, it turns into a war cry. Definitely, it is a matter of faith and conviction. Okay. Everybody, and since our very childhood, we also have been hearing Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. So to say that Jai Shri Ram is...
So we'll come back to that familiar argument. Pandit Satish Sharma, would you want to dwell on this? You know, the whole thing about war cry Jai Shri Ram, as opposed to the more feminist Jai Shri Ram. Some people have even said that when you leave out Jai Shri Ram, then you are anti-women, because Mata Sita is not referred to in the cry of Jai Shri Ram.
Well, speaking as somebody who has behind him the holy triumvirate for us, Sita Mata is there as well. And speaking as a crude Punjabi, I grew up with Jai Shri Ram being uttered by my grandparents, my nani, my dadi, and everybody else. So the assertion that Jai Shri Ram is a war cry is reprehensible. Nobody who has any familiarity with the traditions that it represents would make such a ridiculously, ludicrously, offensively inappropriate statement. But, you know, there is an extraordinary schizophrenia about this whole conversation. You know, in Europe and the West, where secularity was praised, it's because of the demonic, oppressive, dictatorial acts of the religious institutions. That's why secularity was necessary here. There's absolutely no historical evidence that the Sanatani tradition has ever practiced the atrocities which would therefore require a separation of Dharmic faith, tradition and belief from the polity. It's a complete nonsense. It's a fabrication. And in fact, if you dig a little bit deeper, the revelation that we have individuals and parties in Bharat who are determined to keep Sanatani principles away from politics, but are perfectly happy for 57 Islamic nations to be legislating and running their polity on religious bases, are perfectly happy for 117 Christian nations to be happily declaring their religious allegiances. But somehow in Bharat, the Hindus must be kept away from governance and politics. Oh, come on. We've moved on since those days, and it really is time for some of these dinosaur perspectives and views to really brush up on their own ancestral traditions.
What do you make of this, Shikha Mukerjee? Do you think it's okay, just like in the UK, in India, for any head of state or leader to say, I am a Hindu and I am an MP or the Prime Minister, and yet I am secular? That immediately he or she will not be told, oh, you are communal because you say, I speak as a Hindu.
See, it is the context which is where it becomes political, it becomes an issue of controversy, etc. Who do you think Madan Mohan Malviya was? Madan Mohan Malviya was a very, very strong Hindu figure. And he is the founder of the Banaras Hindu University. Which party did he belong to? He belonged to the Congress. So being Hindu, Congress, a political figure was not necessarily a contradiction in this country before. And it has never really been so. There are Mamata Banerjee.
It's interesting you mentioned Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, but isn't it also true? Isn't it also true that when the inauguration of the Somnath temple was to be done, Pandit Nehru said that Rajendra Prasad should not go for it because it is not expected of a head of state to behave like that?
Look, we can
brought up Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, so that's why I brought up the example of Rajendra Babu.
The current crop of politicians like Mamata Banerjee who are very, very pious Hindus, and yet they are secular and they are chief ministers. They run parties. They've established parties which have a secular agenda. But it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that personally she is
What is the difference in Mamata Banerjee being a practicing Hindu and being secular, and Narendra Modi being a practicing Hindu and being secular, or a Yogi Adityanath being a practicing Hindu and being secular?
On the sleeve, if I do not have it written on my forehead that I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am a Christian, or I am a Dalit, I am nobody. That is the problem. I do not think that Rishi Sunak is actually blazoning on his forehead the fact that he is a Hindu and the Prime Minister. That is a misinterpretation of who Rishi Sunak is and how he conducts his politics. I think this is very, very unfair to him. The man, in his private life, can practice whatever faith he wants.
To be fair, I don't remember the last time the Prime Minister had it emblazoned across his forehead that he is a Hindu. He says, just like Rishi Sunak does, that he is a practicing Hindu, and yet he does not have the benefit of doubt to be considered secular, like say a Rishi Sunak would. Anyway, interesting debate to be had, not just in India, but now in the UK as well. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, and Shikha Mukerjee, not Professor Mukerjee, for having joined me on the Explosive Exclusive. And as promised, at 8 p.m. today, till 10 p.m., we are going to get you the Times Now ETG poll, beginning with the crucial 130 seats across all the southern states. Kerala, Karnataka, Telangana, Tamil Nadu. What do they hold for Team NDA versus Team India? Are these going to be the 130 seats that prove to be make or break for Mission 272+? I'll catch you at 8.